Hello, people. Welcome to another Fyxshion Reydiou. Here I am with another episode with Shinja. We're going to be talking about an awesome classic anime. We're going to be talking about a little bit of both, of course. Fullmetal Alchemist and Brotherhood. Or Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. So, Shinja, can you tell us a little bit about Fullmetal Alchemist in general?
Right. So both animes have basically the same plot, where we have our two protagonists, Edward, Edward Elric and Alphonse Eric. I was gonna say Edward Alphonse. It was like, no, wait.
Yeah,
wait.
exactly.
Right. Edward and Alphonse Elric, and they are living with their mother and just alone. They used to have a father, but at a certain point, their father disappeared. But they do remember their father was like a great alchemist, and that's like all they knew about him. Like,
yeah.
But they never really saw him around. Like, he just kind of disappeared from home. So they mostly just lived with their mother. And unfortunately, their mother passed away from an illness when they were young. And so neither the neither of the kids had anywhere else to go to other than like live with their grandmother at the time. So they were obviously really depressed and lonely, and they had seen miracles about alchemy before, and of course as children they're like, oh, we can make anything like alchemy, so we must be able to make our mother again through alchemy. So after learning alchemy from like random alchemists out in the country, they decide to do the taboo to try to resurrect their dead mother, and it goes horribly wrong.
Yeah,
because if it was that simple to make human beings, I don't think death would be such a problem in any world.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is Edward loses his left arm, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Or his right arm. It's his right arm.
Right
Yeah.
arm. Right arm.
Yeah, he loses his right arm, and his brother loses his entire body.
Yeah.
And soul, actually.
Yes.
His brother's gone. And his mother remains, is brought to life, but it's a horrible abomination of a creature. And it cannot really be called its mother. Not even sure if it has a soul or whatnot.
It was a thing. It was pretty graphical.
Yeah, it's a blob. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So, in a desperate attempt to save his brother, he does the ritual again, but this time to just bring his brother's soul back. So he gives up his left leg.
Yeah.
And he gets his brother's soul back and puts it in a suit of armor. So the rest of the anime is basically them giving up on like resurrecting their mother again, and instead now focusing on finding a way to bring back
their bodies.
Alphonse's body.
Yeah.
And hopefully also Edward's limbs, but mostly just Alphonse's body.
Yeah.
And so the whole anime it revolves around that, and eventually leads them to the Philosopher's Stone. That's where both animes go down the path.
Indeed. This is all equivalent exchange, and this is a price that they had to at least go through. And I think mostly every alchemist will try this, like reviving or making humans out of alchemy. Then they have to give up something. Like, if it's your life, it's your life, to get another life. Yeah, it's
a really philosophical
yes.
anime.
Yes.
The whole anime revolves around like you said, equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
Where like it starts off really simple. It's like you want an apple. It's like you can clearly define the value of an apple. It's like, okay, well, it took a seed and some water and like time and earth to like make the tree that grew that apple. So if you give like all the materials that it took to make that apple, you can make an apple out of basically nothing, just a couple of seeds and a bit of water and dirt and stuff, you know. And so that's the equivalent exchange sort of thing. Now it starts to get really weird when you start to go into more abstract stuff.
Yes.
Like life. It's like, who places a value on life? Is one human life the same value as another human life?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then it also, like, it gets even crazier later on at the end of the anime, where it's like, it's not even anymore, is it like equal to another? It's like, what to you is so valuable that would equal like a human life or something like that, you know? And it's like,
it is, yeah.
It makes you question a lot of stuff, and like it really changes your perspective on like what's like important and like the value of things in general.
Exactly, yes. This anime teaches a lot of stuff. Before we jump into our favorite stuff, let's see. There was this. There's at least 2 movies of Fullmetal Alchemist. So yeah, it's around what they actually wanted. I mean, this whole thing, because this is a woman who is actually the mangaka artist for this awesome world. She had I think she, like, this anime has like everything: video games, novels, manga, and anime.
Oh yeah, it is. It's old enough to, like, you know, like have gone through all of that, but it's such a classic too.
Yes.
Like, it's so weird because I think it'd be more popular if it wasn't for the whole alchemy aspect, because there's a lot of like occult symbolism in it, in a way, you know. It was like even like I was just at a website earlier and they have the whole like snake around a cross thing, which is like a Christian symbol, actually.
Yes.
Or not a Christian, like an older Jewish symbol, I believe. But it's, you see that as that's kind of sketchy. And then also the alchemy circles, the transmutation circles that they make, that's also like, is the devil thing gonna happen here?
Exactly.
We're gonna be sacrificing people.
Yeah.
Which is basically what does happen. But they make it more scientific than spiritual.
Exactly.
The whole thing is really, really heavily scientific. So if you throw the whole like spiritual aspect out of it, it's like it's magic, and instead think of it in science terms, which was like how the whole equivalent exchange thing began. It's like, oh yeah, like put some salt and pepper and you make salt and pepper out of it.
Exactly. Yes.
Or something like that. Or like what's a better term, like baking soda and something else to make a reaction to make like a volcano, like
exactly. Yeah, so something like that. Yes. Yeah.
So yeah,
there's a really, really good detail, because once they made this, this is a taboo. This is still taboo in alchemy, and they were both, you know, very, like, people would see them like, oh man, you made that taboo, and like it's like the biggest mistake like an alchemist should do or could do in their whole career as an alchemist, just to revive someone, because it is a taboo to make other human through alchemy. And through that, I think Edward did not need those kind of circles right after he actually made that taboo.
yeah,
Yeah, so I think Alphonse, he still needed to do it because I think he did not have a real body.
No, his whole thing was like he couldn't remember the door of truth or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's this whole thing that it's like they did that taboo, and since they did that taboo, they like basically they saw what was like the door of alchemy or whatever, like the thing that controlled all the equivalent exchange. So by them recalling what that door looked like, they could actually like, you know, do alchemy without the transmutation circle.
Exactly.
But it's super funny because like not only was, you know, like resurrecting someone or creating a human a taboo, it was also illegal.
Exactly. Yes.
Like highly illegal. You could get thrown into jail for it.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to keep it secret, but I watched some episodes recently where they do, you know, one of the first things Ed does is he claps his hand to do that, and like everyone's confused as to how he can do that, but there's a few people in that room that know why he can do that.
Yes.
You know, like actually transmute stuff without drawing a circle. And I'm like, he should have been thrown into jail right then and there. He's not doing a great job at keeping it a secret.
Well, maybe since he was a minor.
Yeah. No, he was like, if he was old enough to basically take the alchemy test or not the alchemy,
the military thing.
Military, yeah. Like he's old enough to go to jail.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, both of them.
So yeah, and forget about his brother. I like. It's like, oh, excuse me, like you don't have a body. You're in a suit of armor because of what? Okay.
Edward goes to jail even twice because he did it twice.
Yeah, basically.
So
he like, if you think about it, it's kind of messed up.
Yeah, it
like,
is really messed up.
Because it's like it's two kids, so it's like it's sad and innocent, you know, because it's like, oh man, they were just trying to bring back their dead mother, and he was just trying to save his brother. But if you take the kid aspect out of it, it's like it's a crime. They made a human being, a really ugly one, and then he played with his brother's soul in a way, you know.
That is a consequence. So you gain more consequences by doing this taboo. And the cool thing about Fullmetal Alchemist is that from just that, from what we've been explaining, there's a lot that you could like write something about this journey, because this is more like adventure type of anime, because they go to this adventure, not like adventure, they just search for this philosopher's stone so hard they even find fake ones or people that assuming that they had one, and none of them were real. And when I read all 5 novels, I was like, man, this woman has so many creativity to just expand this universe, this world, into just from this beginning. And like, yeah, they went to this journey, but it just doesn't. The anime has this unique story, but these 5 novels that she did is totally different, and that is what I like about Fullmetal Alchemist. Even the video games have different stories.
Yeah, it's a good story to like really like kind of just expand on, because it's not really like the anime is kind of sped up in a way. It's like, you know, like they give you the background on the characters, and then they kind of speed it, you know, where they're actually on the track to recover their bodies and stuff. But which is why I think some people like the first anime compared to the second one, because the first one they actually go on some side adventures and stuff, where like they actually investigate some towns and they don't find what they're looking for, but like there is like some clue or something similar to like, what they're looking for going on there. But it's a interesting point, because basically what she's doing is like she says, okay, they're going to this place, and so she thinks of an area, and then she thinks of like what they could be suffering in that area from.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she creates a story based on that, and it kind of just writes itself from that point. The story comes to life on itself, which is really, really cool, and it was executed really well in the anime, so I can imagine it went well elsewhere.
Exactly, yeah, like in the video games, novels, manga, and it had 2 anime. It had the first one, which was on the early 2000, and the other one late 2000, and both were extremely great. Especially the Brotherhood one, I love that one better because it was longer, more characters. And talk about characters, Shinja. What is your favorite character from this series as a whole?
Oh man, it's hard to choose, but I'm gonna choose one that a lot of people probably like, just because he's such a great guy. Maze Hughes.
Oh man,
he's such a fantastic man. Man. He's the best character in the anime, a great father, a great friend. And that's all I'm gonna say.
By the way, this anime will make you cry. This anime will make you angry at some characters. This anime will make you feel what you have never felt. There
are some like dark scenes in this.
Very
anime.
Dark scenes. Very dark.
And you still will feel like shit. Like
exactly.
Like. You'll be super emotional, so just be ready for like a roller coaster of emotion.
Yes.
I think this anime is interesting because it has, like the more I think about it, I'm like, there's a lot of bad fathers in this anime, and then there's like the one good father.
One good father, yeah.
But like I'm thinking like. What Edward and Alphonse's father? He's like gone all the time. Yeah, he's basically a crap father. Like let's just
he's messed up father. Too. I mean,
and then there's that one father with the dog and the daughter.
Right. Exactly. Oh my god.
That I'm like.
Yeah.
Well, that was horrible.
Yeah, that was horrible. Oh god, so
I'm gonna go to a corner and cry now.
Yeah, this anime will make you at least pause and try to digest what you just saw. You know, it's not easy to digest because it is very it confronts you because it's something that it's similar that happens in real life, but in some other type of way. But it's like how twisted minded are these, human beings. And that is how it is. I mean, it's sometimes it challenges you. Jesus Christ, I've seen.
It's interesting too, because like in the side series, or not side series, but like the side stories, they always do the same thing, or you see the same pattern in a way. Like you meet someone, they have a dream they want to accomplish, and you see the beauty in humanity, and then immediately afterwards you see the darkness in humanity and how they chose darkness to try to achieve what dream.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah.
And it's like, oh.
And they have their purposes too. They just don't like be a bad guy because they want to be. They have their reasons, and It's just messed up.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No one's ever evil just to be evil.
Exactly.
Except maybe like, no, never mind. Except maybe one person was like, no. Like, everyone has their backstory to them, where it's like why they're that way. Especially like, so there's the 7 homunculi.
Yeah.
Or are there ever? Yeah, there's 7, but I don't think all 7 of them ever make an appearance, though, or they don't make.
I think in the first Fullmetal Alchemist, they're not all 7. In the Brotherhood, I think they were all there.
But yeah, so you have homunculi that are named after the sins.
Yes.
Of like the Catholic Church, or like the famous 7 deadly sins.
Exactly.
Yeah, which many anime have been inspired by.
Totally.
But for me personally, Fullmetal Alchemist was the first time being exposed to that. But yeah, it was interesting seeing like even those characters' backstories, because like you almost think because of the way they are, they're just evil, or their personalities are just like that because, you know, well, yeah, you know, they're homunculus or whatever.
Exactly.
But no, they like actually, like, especially in Brotherhood, they give them more of a actually, well, in the original one, they also did. I'm thinking like Lust in the original one actually had a decent backstory, and Envy, but I don't think they focused on anyone else.
Exactly, yeah.
And in Brotherhood, they mostly gave everyone a backstory, except Gluttony. Gluttony was always just the big fat one.
No one wanted a backstory.
Yeah, it's like no one's really gonna connect to this big fat bard. You know, it's like whatever, just make him stupid and eat everything.
So yeah, talking about homunculi, I mean, I'm gonna talk a certain part of the series in which I can't go into a spoiler section, but my favorite character, before I get to that scene about that homunculi, my favorite character is obviously Roy Mustang. I mean,
yeah, I can see
that. that's my guy, and that's because of his attitude and his you know, friendship, you know, between Hawkeye, Hughes, and Edward, Alphonse. He always
had a good team.
Yeah, this was a good military team, and this Roy Mustang is my favorite character just because he has this kind of weird rivalry with Edward about owning something. They're like, yeah, you owe me this, yeah, you owe me that, yeah, I saved your ass here, now you gotta save my ass now. Like they have this so weird back and forth, try to like, you owe me, and all those things like that. So the scene, and before I jump to this scene, this anime has a lot of fights. This martial arts fights also, and awesome fights. So this particular scene, I see it all the time. I go to YouTube, watch this scene, and it's so.
The one was Lust.
Oh yeah. and you know the purpose, and we cannot tell because we're spoiler free right now, and so far we're totally spoiler free.
Yeah, let's just say it's the battle every man has was Lust. You know, it's like be gone, thought.
Exactly. This battle, oh my goodness, Jesus! Even the animation was top notch. This was between the 2 hottest characters in the series. 2 hottest.
That's one for it. Yeah, that's one way to put it.
And like how the fight ended, like she told Roy Mustang, like, I never like to lose, or something like that. Like, I hate to lose. And like, man, that pride. And she wasn't even pride, she was lust. She was this kind of hot, sexy women, of course. But
Yeah.
Damn, like even the dialogue in there and how Roy Mustang like killed her ass.
It was pretty
yes,
gruesome.
it was.
It's
It's rated R. That part was rated R.
I just remember like the scream, like
yes,
from that, because Roy Mustang, you got like the more you watch the anime, like you'll know, like he's a fire alchemist.
yes,
so
he's
like
a
all
flame
the
alchemist.
stuff that he does, yeah, everything he does is based on fire. So you can just imagine like there was a lot of explosions of fire going on
Yes.
in that scene. So, the screams were on point.
Yeah, the voice acting. Oh my gosh. I like Roy Mustang in both languages. I mean, in all three languages. I watched Fullmetal Alchemist in Spanish, English, and Japanese. Like, this anime has a lot of, a lot of great stuff. I mean, a lot of people have very skeptical for the live action. I kind of like the live action in my own way, just because of certain stuff that they put in that live action. But going back to the anime, that particular scene, wow, it blew me away. It wasn't just for this kind of revenge. It was more like a payback and protection, because I think in that scene that it was Alphonse and Hawkeye were there, like watching him destroying. Oh my god!
They had never seen him like that.
Exactly, and it was a character development, like in one scene. Like, Jesus Christ! Oh my god! Every time I think of it, it's very powerful, and it impacts me in so many ways that, man, this is a character well developed. Because I cannot imagine, like, the first movie did not did justice to Roy Mustang, since, I mean, I don't think he lost his eye or something. Did he lost his eye?
No. Well, you know what? He does lose his eye at some point. He has an eye patch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't remember when that happened.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in Brotherhood, I think he hurt his eye. He didn't lose it. But yeah, it's something I don't remember really.
I'm having trouble. Yeah, I'm having a hard time remembering, because like now I'm like, no, he didn't, and then I'm like, wait, I kind of do remember like an image was an eye patch, so
yeah.
So exactly. I don't know.
So very quick, Shinja, what's your favorite fight from this series?
Ooh, it's hard to say. It's probably near like the end of Brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has to be the climax.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the anime actually, like
yeah.
Fighting against Father.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like
the boss.
That's
fight.
when they went all out. Yeah, they went all out with like the animation and like everyone's there.
Yes.
It just goes completely crazy. Other than that, any fight was any of the homunculus.
Oh yeah, they were great. They were just phenomenal.
Yeah. It's like, obviously you named like the best fight was Lust, which was like Lust versus Roy.
Yeah.
But like I can't remember too many of them exactly. It's been such a long time.
Yeah, it was a long time. Yeah, we're talking about at least a decade ago or above.
Yeah. I vaguely remember like this fight was like, is it Sloth? I guess like it's some child-looking homunculus, and I can't remember if that was like.
I think it was
Sloth or
Wrath.
No,
the fight with Alphonse.
Yeah,
okay.
There's a fight with Alphonse.
No, that fight was freaking great.
No, that's not Sloth.
It's some
I'm
type of
looking through
homunculus. I don't know what he is really. I think he's just another thing. I don't know if he's.
It was a little child.
Yeah, it was a
I
little child.
remember
Yeah, I
that
remember.
But I can't remember super well. But anyway, he fought against Alphonse, and that was an interesting fight because the whole thing was like this homunculus was strong in the shadows. Like that's how his whole power worked. So like they got really creative with it because it was either like he's super strong in moderate sunlight because he has plenty of things that can cast shadows and stuff. And then he's also super strong in like a lot of like darkness, but he's weak in either extremes. Like he can't have a bunch of light, and he can't be surrounded by just darkness. Otherwise, he's powerless. So that was cool to watch. Maybe it was Wrath. I think there's two different
Wrath. I think there's two different Wrath or two different. I don't know. There were two different Greed, but but one Greed died, and then Ling, got that Greed thing. Yeah, that's spoiler section. Anyway, guys, we're out of time. You should watch this anime. It's great. If you want to watch both, but I recommend Brotherhood, which is the most complete one. But if you want to feel more, the first one is very melancholia. it feels that way.
By the way, I have just found out that the homunculus envy supposedly.
It's envy, because the other one.
Yeah, but.
Okay, that's spoiler section.
I don't think I might be wrong because I was like Envy's not a child.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, it's.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Dan just came in here shouting it. It's Envy. I was like, no, it's not. I think.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, this is it for today. This anime is awesome. Fully recommended. Go watch it. Stop what you're watching now. This anime is classic. So yeah, guys, please don't forget to favorite, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for supporting the channel. This has been Zyberpunky.
And this is Shinja from Karibu Kai Play.
And we'll see you guys later.